Welcome back to part 2 of Geography, Serbia. And we're going to continue with the video. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, you can check it out on my channel. The previous video was part 1, so let's continue with part 2.
It's domaća, and that is true. It was actually also used for medicinal purposes.
By the way, the last time we stopped, it's about rakia, which is the homemade alcohol from, let's say, well, the whole Balkan region, not only Serbia. Let's look at it as moonshine. Let's say moonshine, 50 to 60% moonshine. If you usually made from various kinds of fruit, and yeah, it's really tasty. You have various amounts of alcohol in the rakia, so it can be bought, but it can also be homemade. So this is what it's about in the video at this point. So let's continue. I also poured myself some rakia in, like last video. I have some homemade as well. It's in a whiskey bottle, but it's because my grandpa just pours everything in used bottles from other liquor. So that's the reason why. Let's continue.
They would rub it on my chest like a vapor rub.
And speaking of culture, I asked some of you guys, the Serbian geography peeps, to explain what it means to be Serbian. And here are some of the things you guys said.
Serbia.
I am loud, I am proud, a lot of the time Serbians consider themselves to be misunderstood. Serbians are Slavic people, but very influenced by the peoples who lived on the Balkan Peninsula before.
We are considered to be the terrorists, vampires, but actually the truth is that we are maybe amongst the most hospitable people in the world. Actually, we really love to party and really love to drink, of course.
In Serbia, we really love sarcasm, and almost all our jokes are sarcastic. Basically, one of the most important traits of Serbian people, and it's called inat. So there is no quite good translation for this word, like a trait that makes you do or not do something just in order to prove something, in despite of something.
About inat is something deep inside our blood.
Really,
for example, you cannot climb that tree. You ain't gonna tell me what to do. I will climb that tree right away. And just watch me.
Serbians are great people, and I say this directly to the Serbian people. I wish that the Serbian people are more united with each other. Vreme je došlo da se držimo zajedno, prijatelji moji. Idemo ka pobedi. Veliki pozdrav.
Thanks, guys. In any case, here's the demographic breakdown.
The country has about 7.1 million people, not including the disputed area of Kosovo, which has about 1.8 million, and has one of the highest aging populations with an average age of 43 years old, and about 1/5 of all households consist of only one person. The country is made up primarily of ethnic Serbs at about 83%. From there, not including the Kosovo population, the second largest group would be Hungarians at about 3.5%, the Romani at 2%, and the rest are an influx of...
Whoa, 3.5% Hungarian. I didn't know that. That's actually a pretty high percentage.
Various other people groups like the Slovaks, Czechs, Croatians, Ruthenians, Romanians, most of whom live in the North Vojvodina province.
In Serbia, they use the Serbian dinar as their currency. This is what they look like. Cool, money, we like making it rain.
Whoa.
Anyways, they use the type C and F plug outlets, and they drive on the right side of the road.
Now, of course, the official language of Serbia is Serbian.
Serbia!
Which, if you didn't know, is basically the same language as Croatian and Bosnian and Montenegrin, but they all swear they're all different languages. We already explained this in the Bosnian-Herzegovina episode.
Yeah. Exactly, with the packages of smoking where it just says the same fucking thing.
A huge part of the Serbian identity would be the Orthodox Church. Everyone respects it. The majority of Serbians identify as Orthodox. Even if they're not particularly religious and they carry the crosses, it's just something they cling to for their roots.
Every family has their own saint, and they celebrate saints' day.
That's very well said. Even though they're not mostly religious, they just hang onto it because of their roots. And the same goes for Bosnians, for being Muslims, and as well for Croatians being Catholic Christians. Exactly this.
Or Slava, huge deal.
Also, what was that thing you did before? What is this thing?
It's the Serbian three-finger salute. Very big in Serbia.
Yeah, basically. It stands for also the three... how do you call it? The things with the Orthodox Christianity, like the Holy Spirit, the blah blah, and the I don't know. The Christian people know what I'm talking about. So that thing. So that's why it represents the three things from the cross, but also like as a Serb. Yeah. Let's just continue with the video.
Like the Croatians, Bosnians, Slovenians, and the rest. They're all just Slavs.
So why are they such a dysfunctional family?
That would take ages to explain, but it kind of goes like, all right, my fellow Balkan Slavs, how we doing?
You guys are always like the expansionist military power that lords over us in the name of pan-Slavism when we didn't ask for it.
And the moment one of us expresses even a slight sense of nationalism, you freak out and send in the tanks.
Yeah, you're one to talk.
Excuse me?
Yeah, remember we were allied against Serbia, but then you totally backstabbed me in 93?
You backstabbed me. I had like twice as many casualties from your attacks, all because you wouldn't let us use a gas station.
You guys are just embarrassing to be around.
Shut the up, Slovenia, you snobby ass wine-drinking, bank-liquidating, client capital-losing Latin wannabe. Yeah, I said it.
Really, North Macedonia? I'm not even technically part of this mess, but you know you're basically just confused Bulgarians.
I swear, if you
These sketches are just the best. I swear to God, are you fucking saying that to me?
say that one more time, and if anything, how come nobody talks about that 30-year-long dictatorship in Montenegro?
Huh? Guys, seriously.
Because they're sleeping. That's why, because they don't give a fuck. This is so good.
Okay, yeah, I admit it. I'm a little bit passionate sometimes. People sometimes can skew it as aggressive.
Understatement.
Maybe it's because I just wanted to hold on to and protect what we all started with. We were all just South Slavs, but history messed everything up. And maybe I like to romanticize the concept of pan-Slavism, and I take it...
Well, keep everything together with the plan of Greater Serbia is not really what it means to keep everything together in a friendly way, if you know what I'm saying. That's exactly what they said in the beginning, where you just want to dominate the other groups.
To the extreme sometimes.
Understatement.
Take it how you will.
Understatement. I love this.
Still, ultimately, my underlying objective has always been that I didn't want us to separate too much. Is that so bad? Živeli.
Oh yeah, fuck, here we go.
Yep, there you go. Well, no easy way to smoothly segue, so on a lighter note, let's talk about sports. Here's Art with the sports part.
Fuck. I bet you $100 my grandpa has like 68% in this bitch because it's, oh my god. This one is way more heavy than usual.
What's up, guys? It's Art. I'm up in Washington State. This is where I'm from. Came up here to see my family. I'll be back soon, so let's get into it. What's up, guys? We are back in my mom's garden, and there's like lots of construction and dogs and like everything going on, so I'm sorry for the background noise. It annoys me too. So, in Serbia, athletes are some of the biggest investments of the country, and many have risen to international stardom. For one, the most popular sport is actually basketball, and water polo would probably come in second. They are tied with the U.S. with the most world basketball championships with 5 wins each, and their men's water polo team is normally ranked first or second in the world, tied with Hungary. Volleyball is huge too. Their men's team are Olympic gold medalists, and women's teams are 2018 world champions and 3-time European champions. And finally, tennis has seen some immense growth and popularity with the recent success of players like first-ranked women's champ Jelena Jankovic with 15 WTA single titles. And of course, the big guy everybody's heard of, the world's #1 men's single player, 17 Grand Slam champion, Novak Djokovic. Guys, I'm not Serbian, alright?
Not saying like that the Serbians are bad at sports at all. No, they're not. The Serbians, the Bosnians, the Croatians, and even the Slovenes. Well, Slovenes are just a bit less, but those three, Bosnian, Serbian, Croatia, are so good in sports. It's absolutely ridiculous. The amount of really good athletes that we have is insane. And I've seen pictures of people showing what kind of basketball teams we would have if we would still be Yugoslavia, or football teams. We would be dominating the fucking world when it comes to basketball, when it comes to football, and when it comes to handball, and even water polo. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And if you look at the history, I love the Yugoslav basketball team's history. Like these are the big guys who got into the NBA. We competed against America on the World Championships. It's like basketball was a real big thing back in the day for Yugoslavia, and we had really tall and really good players. Looking at documentaries from Michael Jordan and Pippen and every big NBA player from the time, from the golden era, from the Chicago Bulls, but also from LeBron James and other players who've experienced playing with Serbians, Bosnians, and other players, or Croatians, who joined them at that time, they were like, whoa, these guys are another level. They play completely differently than we do, and they're really good at it. So even from the like real big stars, there was a lot of respect to the Bosnian, Croatian, and the Serbian basketball players from the time. I even have a shirt from Drazen Petrovic, because he was like such a beast. He was one of the biggest Serbian basketball players who was really good. So yeah, of course I support my Balkan friends. Doesn't matter if it's Serbian, Croatian, or whatever. If you're from the Yugoslav region and you're a good athlete or whatever, and I can be a fan of you, and I don't give a fuck about our past and our background.
Just give me a break. He's won so many titles in all of the major tennis open events, is the first male to win all 9 Masters 1000 tournaments. He's been on countless talk shows, can speak about 5 or 6 languages fluently, and has donated millions of dollars to charity. He is quite the charmer. Sounds like a really cool dude. But you know what's not cool? Is that construction in the background, and if they don't stop, I'm gonna go somebody up right now. All right. Back to you, Barbs.
Thank you, Art.
Now, moving on. Serbia is a land of extreme tradition, customs, and radiant celebration. Lots of stuff happened here.
So, with that, here's Random Hannah with culture stuff.
Random Hannah.
Mwah. See you later. To this day, beautiful Byzantine-era Orthodox frescoes are some of the most prized artworks and relics of their past. Serbian weddings usually last days, followed by a ton of traditions, such as shooting the apple, drinking from the buklja, smashing plates and glasses. Often, the best man and maid of honor take on godparent roles for future children. In many celebrations, of course, you might find the traditional clothing worn amongst men and women. Regions have different styles, but generally, you'll see the women's yellow vest on shirts with pleated wool skirts and embroidered aprons. For men, you'll see long shirts, wide pants, a gunya vest, topped off with the shajkacha cap. Like many of their Balkan cousins, Serbia is riddled with folklore, superstitions, and rituals. For example, Serbian moms will often chastise anyone in the house that leaves 2 windows open, creating the promaja or
Prova, yeah, that's what I mentioned in my top 10 things not to do in Bosnia as well. Because again, as you can see on these things, culture and stuff are really close related in all the Balkan countries. So we share a lot of those things.
Cold draft. That is a powerful breeze. It is considered bad luck to put any bag on the floor, especially a purse. Don't sit on the corner of a table, otherwise it is said you will not get married. The Orthodox faith often uses the Julian calendar, meaning that for them, Christmas lies on January 7th. Loud church bells, firing guns in the air, eating off the Christmas bread. They even burn their Christmas trees, or more like Christmas oak branches, and the better they burn, the more luck you will have. We do that in Alabama.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we burn our Christmas trees. Put it in the your outside fire pit. We don't think it gives you good luck. It's just fun.
Same happens in the Netherlands and other countries in Western Europe as well at this point. Just people burning the trash, to be honest.
Serbian Christmas is quite a spectacle of sights and sounds. And speaking of sound, now we go to Keith's terrible music segment.
I love this woman. This is just the most perfect description. Like, first she's just describing things normally, then she's acting all crazy and mental in the fucking sketch, and now she's just swinging the guitar like, yeah.
Remember, buy this face at geographynow.com. I'll let people see my beautiful green eyes. Much of the traditional Serbian music is rooted in Orthodox acoustic choir vocals. Some of the traditional instruments include things like these things. And probably the most well-known traditional instrument...
Not even bothering just to pronounce them, just these things.
The gusle. Usually these songs are accompanied by the various types of Serbian traditional dance, the most commonly known one being the kolo, based on a simple 1-2.
Not only Serbian, the kolo is also in Croatia, Bosnia, like folklore in general in the Balkans.
Rhythm, but some other variants have more complex 7/8 rhythms. To basically explain it to you in a very simple way, I drew this really crappy drawing of what it would look like on sheet music. You could count it as 1 2 1 2 1 2 3, because you know 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. You got 2 and 2 and 3, and that makes 7, right? Simple math. Math. Excuse me, it's all that damn yogurt. Alright, in contemporary music, this dude is considered the founder of modern Serbian music. Since then, there has been a really interesting evolution that mixes traditional music with modern music. In fact, you can find it played at the Gucha Trumpet Music Festival, the second largest music festival in all of Serbia. The other being the Modern Exit Festival. In fact, Serbia...
Been to Exit. Exit, it was actually really good.
Even won the Eurovision Song Contest in 2007. Serbians also are pioneers of ex-Yugoslavic rock bands and turbo folk, as described by geography Radosh, folk music on cocaine. And also, I highly recommend
Folk music on cocaine.
recommend you all to check out David Maximicic. He is a wonderful human being. What bands from Serbia do you know? Alright, thank you all. Wow.
Thank you, Keith. And with that, here's the briefly condensed history segment. All those Greek, Macedonian, Roman, and Byzantine Empire things that predated the Slavs.
The Great Slavic Migration in the 7th century.
This dude is the first Serbian ruler.
Christianity comes in.
East-West schism. Serbs choose Orthodox.
Lots of new kings, random battles.
Ottomans invade.
Centuries of small domestic conflicts.
Russo-Turkish War.
Serbian kingdom reestablished.
Balkan Wars.
World War I, Austria-Hungary pissed.
World War II, Germany goes ham on them.
Yugoslavia established.
Decades of Yugoslav awkwardness, but it kind of worked sometimes.
Dissolution of Yugoslavia.
Kosovo War.
Montenegro secedes.
Country works on trying to stay afloat during underlying controversies by making an image of being the party capital of Europe.
And here we are today.
Some of the top notable people from Serbia or of Serbian descent that you guys suggested we mentioned in this episode include
too many former kings and royal family members.
A bunch of other historical figures like these.
Scientists and academics like these.
Like these.
And most of all, Nikola Tesla.
Nikola Tesla is Serbian.
He is Croatian. Croatian.
He's ours. We claim him. No.
Croatian or Serbian. Same bullshit. What's going on? Like, you can be ethnically something else because your parents are, let's say Bosnians. If his parents were Croatians or Croatians and Serbians, so he's ethnically 50-50, and then his nationality is where he's born, so you get the point.
So many actors and artists.
Wait, what just happened? Well, that was hella awkward.
Like these.
One of the most notable ones being Karl Malden.
And also there's that lady who survived like the highest fall from an airplane and survived.
Fun fact, did you know James Bond was based on a Serbian guy?
Anybody else we're missing?
There is my 95-year-old grandfather who still is painting in Petar Mladenovic.
Oh yeah, a lot of famous Serbs all over the world.
And speaking of international affairs, that brings us to... Now, it's been said that during Cold War times, Tito was the only man on Earth that successfully danced between both sides of the Cold War.
Today, outside of Europe, the USA, Canada, Argentina, and Australia have the largest populations of Serbs in diaspora. Many moved during Yugoslav breakup times, the largest community living in Chicago, Illinois, USA, which is interesting considering that the US was heavily involved in the NATO intervention of the Kosovo War. Nonetheless, the countries try their best to remain cordial.
Now, of course, this means that Russia and China have been close as both stand on the Serbian side of the Kosovo conflict. China offers huge business and investment support in Russia as a fellow Orthodox and Slav.
If you haven't seen my video on how China is conquering the Balkans, you should check it out on my channel as well, because I have a whole video on that topic.
The country has always had a soft spot for the Serbs. They helped refugees during the Ottoman time and even gave them land in imperial territory of what is now Ukraine, called New Serbia and Slavo-Serbia.
In Africa, South Africa is probably the closest friend, as many South African resistance fighters trained in Serbia during the apartheid years, and today about 20,000 Serbs live in South Africa, mostly in Johannesburg. Nelson Mandela was even made an honorary citizen of Belgrade.
Closer to home, though, because of historical controversy, Croatia...
Nelson Mandela was a what? What? Whoa, I didn't know that. Is that true? Well, apparently it is, because otherwise I wouldn't put it in this video, but that's pretty sick. I didn't know that.
and Bosnia are, on paper, enemies. But in reality today, when people from these countries meet, it's like everything drops and they're just Balkan.
Like, we're all Croatians, Serbians, and Orthodox Christians, and Muslims, and everything until the Rakia comes out. Because when this son of a bitch comes out on a party and someone hits some fucking notes on the music or an accordion or the trumpet, like, it's GG. It's over. We're all brothers, blood brothers.
Slavs. The only difference is the religious background and maybe a few minor cultural differences, but otherwise they get each other.
When it comes to their best friends, however, most Serbians have told us two countries, Montenegro and Greece.
For Montenegro, it is often said the two are two eyes in the same head. They share lots of history, they saved each other many times in wars, lots of people intermarry and have property or businesses in both countries. And even though Montenegro...
Yeah, I just see them. Montenegro is just like Serbia, to be honest, so... The amount of difference between culture and language there is like 0.5%.
Was pushing a separation from Serbian identity movement. They can't deny the closeness they share.
For Greece, not only do they share the Orthodox thing, but they've always kind of helped each other in history, whether it was against the Ottomans or Greece being the only NATO country to refuse cooperation in the Kosovo dispute, standing with Serbia. Today, most Serbs go to Greece all the time for vacations, where they are welcomed with open arms. They share the same laid-back, dark humor, and when they meet, it's like an instant connection of powerful Balkan bond few nations in the world can understand. And for the conclusion, I think, Ivan, you should take it away. Whoop!
Centuries of dramatic events have led to the Serbia today that is stuck in between moving forward with one hand grasping to the glory days of the medieval Serbian kingdoms that are a frequent source of inspiration. So many things that have happened, yet nobody gets a full answer, and nobody fully wins anything. In the end, we're just a group of South Slavs. That's all we can say. We are Serbs. Živjeli.
Živjeli. Stay tuned!
Oh, fuck. And for živjeli, so živjeli. Oh, tough motherfucker.
Seychelles is coming up next.
Not X. That's why they call it jet fuel.
That's what they call it, jet fuel, yeah. They do. Yeah, but I quite often drink it, so I kind of get used to it at this point. I'm not an alcoholic or something, but I can handle it at this point. But this one is fun, some heavy motherfucker. I don't know what my grandpa did with this, but it's heavy. Hope you guys liked this video on Geography Now Serbia. If you did, leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of these kind of videos, but also comment video ideas, because I do not only do these kinds of videos. Check out my channel playlists to see all the stuff that I do. And I see you guys in the next video. Ciao.
Perfect.